Welcome to Bonus Banter, where we answer your questions and talk about nothing.
Bulbous, poop,
Poop. Butt.
poop,
Butt.
swirl,
Swirl.
duck, duck, bad,
goose.
Run.
We've been playing a brain rot of a game recently called R.E.P.O.
We've played this as a group once.
I played it twice.
We need to do it again.
And it's insane.
It's
insane.
fantastic. What a game.
It is
What a beautiful
insane.
game. It's everything
It's
I loved about
insane.
Lethal Company,
Insidious.
but better.
Better.
Better. My favorite thing right now is what we're joking about, which is the stupid TTS that you
It's
can do
so
in it.
good.
Take me
so-
out to the ball game.
We,
And if you're
Wait.
dead, you have a whisper voice. It's very ominous.
or if you're crouching. Or tiny.
My favorite is whispering ominously, butt sex.
I like to go around dead.
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 Duck suck.
Poop.
Duck.
Poop. Poop.
Fart.
Poop. Fart.
This is great.
Because like we're all a bunch of middle schoolers at heart who still think that's funny.
It is so funny. Honestly.
Finally.
I don't have to think.
Yes, I started doing like, did somebody steal your sweet roll?
Have you been to Cloud District?
Destroy him.
And then you get thrown in the toilet.
Hit it with the baseball bat.
If you haven't played it yet, audience, the game R.E.P.O. on Steam is hilarious.
And it's only
very
$10.
fun.
Like
It's
the
$10.
What did we play for like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Those 2 hours were worth my $10.
It was supposed to be a short game, and we just kept going.
Those 2 hours, that would have been worth it for 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
like $10, which is less than you'd spend on like a mild night out with people. And you have a night in and you play for like 3 hours or more.
And you can play it again another night
Yeah.
for the same money already spent.
Swirl.
Why do people
Swirly.
leave the house?
They
can just play
told me
games.
I had to press Q so I would get small. It's like this, everyone has to be initiated. And they try to drag me to the toilet.
A
And I
try.
keep
We succeeded.
fighting.
You succeeded.
I fought as much as I could. I got swirlied.
Twarn't no try about it. Toilet.
I got
Toilet.
flushed.
Flush.
Such a
Boop.
great
Ha.
game.
We.
Although, like, I've just spent a bunch of the last month helping family move, and that game is basically about
Move.
picking stuff up and moving it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more
hallways.
fun.
Yeah. At least my, like, body doesn't hurt the next
Without
day.
back pain.
Yeah.
Moving things without back pain.
Oh, my God.
And you don't normally fight demon clowns.
This is true. This is true.
I found out those little clown dolls. If you boop them on the nose 3 times, they'll explode.
Oh,
Really?
Can be used as a weapon.
neat.
Oh, that's kind of
A
cool.
weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Clown doll.
Glad we didn't find it out accidentally.
Jacob pulled such a pro gamer move last night when he picked up the clown doll and threw it in the cart that you have in that game. Because when you pick it up, it starts swinging at you.
Oh,
the
creepy doll.
Yes.
Creepy dolls.
I
Is that the
watched
same
it.
thing?
If you fucking dunked
I
it.
nailed that. I
It
don't
was
know. I
beautiful.
could not replicate it if I tried,
It
but
was
it
beautiful.
went up and wham.
Yeah, he didn't take a
Right
single
into
point of
the
damage.
cart.
And the same thing, I did it with the music box too. I got spun and I let go and it landed right in the car. I couldn't do it again if I tried
You probably could.
Pro
Maybe a
gamer.
few
move.
Pro
I believe
gamer.
in you.
after a few times.
I believe in
So
you.
stupid. But you should go play R.E.P.O. It's really fun.
You know
I
what else you
highly
guys should
recommend it.
play?
Warframe.
Warframe.
I was so sad
You
about that's
could
been
do
fun.
commercials
Hey,
for
we
him.
can take a break if we just want to let Drow talk about Warframe for a little bit.
All right, you
right,
got the
I'll
you
go
got it for
take a
3
nap.
hours.
Yeah.
We're done.
All right, everybody else has taken off their headsets. It's just you and me, audience.
Quick,
Let's
stop.
talk
Cut the
about
mic.
Warframe. Let's talk about Warframe. I don't know if my mic just cut or anything. Anyway, so you start off as John Tenno, the Excalibur, and your job is to go around and beat up Appalachian hillbillies who all come from the same mother and taxmen.
100% accurate so far. Bopes.
Your mother sometimes decides that even though you've been sneaking around, you should kill people.
Yeah. Cancel those orders. Kill everything.
Ignore your original objective. Leave nothing alive.
Oh, Mom.
Oh, Mom.
I call her lips because all you see of her face is her fucking lips.
She's Mom, okay?
Okay. So anyway, that's that's community director Rebecca, and she is the bomb. She also plays the bass. She's
Did
going
you
to
say
be
the bomb, the mom, or the vom?
Yes.
So if you go into Warframe and you finish basically everything up until the most recent update, you can access the dating sim in Warframe 1999, where the only correct option is Amir Beckett, the Volt. He's schmoopy. You can be schmoopy too. He calls you Void Kitten and Velvet Owl, and he barks at you.
You can be a schmoopy too.
Bulbous.
This has been my life for the past,
More
month
than a
is
year
it?
at this point.
No, 1999 update thing. That
Oh,
happened.
I
That
thought you meant
happened in
Warframe
November.
in general.
That happened in November.
Oh, okay.
for longer than a year, for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3 years, actually.
So
Yeah.
I got into it before Wisp Prime came out.
And to think last year at this time, we were talking about Dobte and Burp Gold.
I'm still thinking about Dante and Virgil. However,
Burp gold.
hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Amir is actually nice to you. And he's a romance option. There's canonical bullshit. You don't have to just like make up shit about him. You can just like talk to him and he's like,
Where do they fit the bull in the plane? The spaceship.
Jacob doesn't want to talk
God
about
save
Warframe.
us all.
you can go up to him and be like, hey, I'm glad we're together. And he'll say some shit like,
Woof.
sometimes that he'll go, woof, woof. Dogs are always so happy, and this is the happiest
Why?
I've ever been. So, woof.
Oh, I don't like that.
Man, he has some conversations where he's like, hey, are you more of a dog person or a cat person? And I've had the exact same conversation with other people, and I'm like, oh God, he's about to tell me that he's into pet play. And then he did. Anyway, walkies.
You know.
Let's go.
This is their obsession. We all live with it. They have a shrine.
I do. I have a Documura and a poster.
I thought you meant to shrine in real life for a second.
No,
I was real
I
concerned.
thought so
for a
too.
moment.
I'm
No,
not
I have the
joking.
pillowcase in my room. I have a poster that I'm going to hang up as soon as I get a
Oh,
frame.
dang.
You are building one.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
We've got a 3D printer. I have the STL file for him specifically. I was
He's been doing this the whole
I
time.
know I'm
whole
giving him
time.
indigestion.
Giving Jacob indigestion, talking about Warframe.
We cannot only be here for Warframe.
No,
what else are we
please,
here
what
for?
else? Please tell me there's questions.
It's okay if I have to. If Drow wants to use the 3D printer, that means we need to have a stand for it to be on, which I need to build.
Yeah.
And if I need to build it, that means I have free license to get the tools I need for my garage to build it.
Ooh, tools.
The thing is, I have the file downloaded. I can wait as long as I need to.
Just go to the library.
You're right.
Oh no, my shelf.
I'm going to come home with just like an entire necklace made of Amir's.
Though I
I'm
don't know
gonna
if
open the door and a bunch of like plastic parts are gonna fall out onto
Yeah.
me. All
Yeah.
of them are gonna be Amir shaped in various horrible ways.
In various horrible ways.
Bad.
Oh man.
Bad.
In other video game news, I finally beat a video game that I wanted to play for a while and never got all the way through. I beat Horizon Zero Dawn.
It was really nice.
I did a video game I'd been wanting to play for forever and finally beat it too. I finally played Stray.
Oh, fun.
Nice. Horizon's very good, and I like its world building a whole lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very, very interesting. And the writing in it was fantastic with how it just kind of like builds tension. I loved it so much that I got every achievement in it. I didn't do the New Game Plus ones though, like every achievement in the base game because I didn't want to stop playing.
I finally cheated my way through the XCOM series.
Oh,
I'm bad at them, so I cheated and
That's
I
fine.
had a blast.
Those games are hard.
They're very hard. That's why I cheated.
Yeah. Honestly, valid, to be completely honest. We have a lot of things we can discuss today. We do have a number of listener questions, and it's been forever since we've done one of these because it's been a very busy year. And we haven't had time to. Thank goodness season 3 is fully recorded.
Yeah.
In fun news, the audience can learn we have started another home game. The Emerald Spire game is on hiatus temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on New Year's ish, I started running the Giant Slayer adventure path for Pathfinder 1E.
Yes.
Which is really funny.
It's very funny. I think actually it may have been the last time we sat down to do a bonus banter. I can't remember if it was that day or if it was like when we did our gift exchange and we were tired and bored and I was like, we could play Pathfinder. And then we literally just made characters and I randomly picked an adventure path and we played it.
You guys did paper and pencil.
It was last time we recorded bonus banter. Hot dog. I had my memory work.
It's very funny because half of us have listened all the way through the GCP playing that.
I've listened to most of it.
I know what happens.
But that's what makes it fun. It's so low stakes.
Yeah.
And it's full of dumb references because a lot of us have listened to that podcast play it. So we can just goof off.
That podcast.
Yeah. Glass Cannon Podcast, campaign 1. Very good. I've been re-listening to it.
We miss you, Grant.
The reason I got it is because I was re-listening to it when I was moving last year. And then I found it on eBay for like ridiculously cheap with the pawns and with the maps.
Yeah.
Pawns.
I love pawns.
Prawns.
Other good news. I'm spreading the good news of Pathfinder First Edition to people. I'm running a group at work. I ran them through the beginner box, and now we're playing Crypt of the Everflame. We just went to the dice store and got all our dice for the first time. It was great.
Like I told one of my coworkers that I was playing Pathfinder tonight. It's like, oh, I love that game. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like, yeah, like tabletop RPGs, and just like, oh, I'm in the right place.
But speaking of Pathfinder 1E, I wanted to throw out a discussion thing here. It's not going to make a lot of sense for our audience who's very 2E focused.
Gross.
But I want to talk about 2E.
2E is great. Shut up.
2E is great. I actually just got Player Core 1, slowly acquiring the new version of the same game I already own. 2E is fun though, but the remaster is a pain in the butt. But in Pathfinder First Edition, there's various types of spellcasters. And I'm not sure if this is the same thing in 5e. It's not in Second Edition at all. But in First Edition, you have full casters like your wizards and your sorcerers who get new spell levels basically every other level, more or less. And then you also have, those are called full casters. And then you also have 2/3 casters who, I don't know what the exact frequency is, but it's like your Magus and Bard. Let me look at their progression block.
Well, Derek's looking at the progression block. I'm going to infiltrate this conversation with more Amir. He runs. Yay!
He runs.
He's a Volt.
I think Magus and Bard get it every, 3 levels. They get a new level of spells.
That sounds right.
And then you have like Paladins and Rangers are what are called 1/3 casters. So they get new levels of spells like every 4. So they
start at level 4, and then it's every
4 after. So like by 10th level, I think you can only you get your first 3rd level spell. So it's really slow.
But they kind of make up for it by like lowering the spell level of some spells.
They do typically, yeah. But they also don't get cantrips.
Yeah.
So that's another problem. But they usually have other stuff going on.
Cantrips are nice.
The problem it's less so with Magus, although it does have the same problem. Less so with the 2/3. The 1/3 casters have a big problem when it comes to spells that have save DCs. Because the way in 2E, what they fixed about 1E that I really like is your spell DC is like part of your class, and all your DCs for all your spells is the same. And it goes up as you level up. So everything stays useful. In 1E, to calculate the DC of a spell, it is 10 plus the spell's level plus your casting modifier. So if you're a wizard casting a 4th level spell and your intelligence is 18, you'll have a +4 intelligence modifier, 4th level spell, DC 18. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 10, DC 18.
DC.
Well, a 4th level spell? That seems low.
Yeah, they are lower in 1E, just across the board.
Yeah.
Gross.
It can be hard. Those savers
and
sucks.
If you're casting a 4th level spell, you'll probably have items. The +4 intelligence modifier is way too low. Probably +6 at that point.
Simple math. I got you.
But the problem with that is if you're a paladin and you're casting a spell with a save, you get your first one at level 10, right? So that's going to be 3rd level spell. 10 plus 3 is 13, and you're not going to have a high casting modifier because of your doing other stuff. So it may be +2 at best. So that's like DC 15 at level 10, which is ludicrously low.
Yeah.
2E fixes this, but I have an idea I wanted to propose to our group on how to fix it for 1/3 casters. So the idea I had, and I've seen it other places, is changing how spell DCs are calculated, but not across the board, only for these specific classes, where you can make it either instead of the spell level, you could do half the class level. The standard way to make up a DC for something. The reason I know so much about this is because I made the Witcher class for Pathfinder 1E.
Yeah.
So you could do, the standard way to do is 10 plus half your character level plus whatever the modifier is. That would scale a little bit better.
Yeah.
The other way you could do it is half the caster level. So if you're a paladin, it would be a little bit lower than that because you start casting at level 4. So your caster level is always going to be lower than your class.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about doing this. I wanted to throw it past you guys because I know in this group we're playing, Kat is playing a paladin. We should actually talk about Giant Slayer characters. I realized we didn't talk about them because they're great.
Oh, yeah.
But Kat's playing a paladin. Drow is playing a wizard.
And like, I still can't cast spells.
Jacob is also playing a caster, but with no spells.
Yeah.
You're playing a fighter who casts swing sword.
Yeah.
Or axe.
Axe. My bad.
He casts
And he's very
instant death.
efficient.
He has power word kill. He just has to take a few more steps to get it.
A few more swings.
Yeah.
He has to speak it with the swings.
If we weren't fighting orcs, everything we would have fought so far would have died in one hit.
Yeah, orcs
but
are
we
rough.
gotta be fighting orcs.
That ferocity.
Yeah. But like, before we get into characters real quick, what do y'all think about that? Because basically what happened is it would make you be able to choose spells that have DCs and have a chance of them actually working. But it would be a decent power buff because all your spells, first level to however, I think you get to cast up to 4th, would always be useful versus the wizard, the first level spells fall off eventually. But at the same time, your DC would be about like a few levels behind the wizard.
Yeah, it would still leave you behind, just not where your spells are practically
Like if
useless.
the wizard's casting 5th, your DC would be on the range of like a 3rd. It'd be like 2 spell levels behind.
So inside of you, there are 2 people. Oh my God. One is a player, one is a DM.
Yeah.
Player Jacob says, I'll take anything that buffs the players.
Yeah.
DM
Heck
Jacob
yes.
says, I'm actually going to think about this. It has been thought about. I don't know.
Cat's never been a DM.
I feel like when it comes to those 1/3 casters, they don't really have a lot of offensive spells anyway.
You would be shocked.
Most of them aren't like damage; they're they're like grease or grasping vines or something.
But it's so much
But
fun
you'd be
when those
shocked
work.
how many spells for those casters are utterly useless because they have a save DC.
That's true. But I
Save
also
or
think
suck.
the reason it might be like that is because it's the balancing factor. Because all of those 3rd casters have other things that they're good at.
For sure. But the other thing is all of them tend to also be martial characters.
Yes.
And in 1E in particular, martials get left behind past like level
They
10.
really do.
Eventually.
So it's my way of kind of bumping up that end of the spectrum up, not to wizard level, but back towards the middle.
It'd be the kind of thing I'd want to do research on. It sounds reasonable.
It's the kind of thing I'm thinking about
sounds like a
trying
good
specifically
solution.
in Giant Slayer, because
Yeah.
in our Giant Slayer game, it's very casual. We've ignored the whole roll for hit points and
Yeah.
just taking maximum because
It's beautiful and so much easier.
why bother? We should talk about your characters because there have been some other affordances I've made.
I would love to talk about our characters.
Jacob, go ahead. You start us off.
I'm playing a full orc by the name of Princess. He has a tiara.
He's very cute.
And he's a fighter.
He is a fighter.
Not a barbarian.
With a butcher's axe or butchering axe. So a 3d6 plus what's my 10 whenever I power attack right
It's
now.
absurd.
So like, I'm not kidding when I say if we were fighting anything but orcs, I would be one hitting most things. But eventually we're going to be fighting giants. And we still have a very good number of orcs to get through too. So, so he hits like a truck. He is a truck.
No, truck.
Oh, you should. I love.
He is best friends with the village chief's daughter, who's a child. I say best friends. She's like his role model because it's because of her that he got into the city, which is hugely racist against orcs. Would you say? Okay, hold on. Would you say they're racist against orcs, or are they just constantly having to fear for their lives because of orcs?
Fear for their lives.
Legitimately.
Why not both?
I mean, that's true. That's
think
fair.
That's I think that's still racism.
Yeah. But so he's there. Lately, he has gone a bit more lawful than I intended because he's gotten very upset when people have broken the rules or not called in late or not called in for their shift they're missing at all.
What is it?
When
No
they
call, no
show, he got very angry about that.
showed.
He knows how to threaten people.
Yeah. He's going to cut off their dick.
Constantly threatens to cut off their dicks because, let's face it, terrifying.
You made the farm boy you rescued shit himself because you burst in the room saying,
I'm gonna cut
your dick off. And there was just this imprisoned kid.
Yeah.
Poor little guy.
It's okay. He deserved it. He was using the sex temple.
Oh my God.
They apparently meet in this dangerous little place.
Decrepit
and rotting place full of like vermin.
The plague house.
Temple.
Vermin.
Yeah, the plague house.
And yet they're like, let's fool
that's where
around
everybody
there.
goes to have sex.
Pee-wee's plague house.
Shut the fuck up.
So anyway, yes.
That's not my joke. I can't take credit for that.
Yeah, I know.
Princess now, when I imagine him, has like a button-up white collar shirt with the arms ripped off.
With a tie.
With a tie.
Yeah.
That's under his armor, right?
The tie is on top of his armor because that way you can still see it. He has like work dress slacks on and then a tiara.
Beautiful. A consummate
That's my
professional.
mental image, whether or not that's how he actually
And didn't
looks.
you say, I remember last session you said he keeps his orc double axe in a briefcase?
He keeps his inventory in a briefcase.
Okay.
His orc
His
double
inventory.
axe is on his back.
Okay. It's beautiful. Kat, who are you playing in this goofy game we've started?
I think I have the most serious character. No surprise there for me. I play a paladin, but I have to be serious because I'm a paladin. I play a paladin of Shaylin. So my whole thing is bringing beauty and art and love, and that's there's not a lot of that in True now with all the attacks.
Violence?
You've gotten everyone doing a skincare routine every morning after a long rest.
Every time we wake up, I mention my skincare routine.
I love it.
It's like I think some villains look better in red because blood. I basically have a character who's not quite pretty and talented enough to do normal Shaylin things, so she just cuts things down with a sword for her god.
Half-elf paladin? Or
Human.
Human paladin.
No more half-elf paladins.
And Drow, I wonder what you're playing.
It's a frog person.
A Sneeple.
It's a human.
I think
I'm playing a Drow.
Yeah, with the allowance that you get the boost to intelligence instead of charisma.
My name is Stephanie West.
We could do that?
No, they asked for it, remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Stephanie Westweb, and I am constantly smoking. I always have a blunt tucked behind my ear. I've been in my hot girl decade for about 2 decades now. I'm taking a little vacay and enter now. Didn't mean to get caught up in this battle or anything.
You choose bad vacation spots.
What?
What?
Yeah.
And I swear your favorite spell is Summon Swarm.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my favorite spell. But yeah, these are good characters. It's been really fun. I really like
I love it.
casual game approach that inevitably turns into a serious one the longer you end up playing it. There's been a lot of times in this game where I've realized there's things you can do in Pathfinder First Edition that you emphatically cannot do in Second Edition. See the Battle of Blood March Hill, which is like a million encounters taped together with just a bunch of Wand of Cure Light wounds thrown in between.
Cure.
Bless this game for giving us that wand.
And then the battle at the gate,
Portcullis.
the Portcullis,
The Portcullis.
where you had to
That's insane.
defend off, what is it, like 4 rounds of orcs?
Yes, it was 4 rounds because I was
So many
surprised
orcs.
when there was a 4th.
Orc Portcullis.
Shut up.
No, call, no, show.
Cut your dick off.
That battle was crazy.
Oh my
That was
God.
18 rounds, 4 waves. Princess drank a potion of bull strength and a potion of enlarged person, both of which last for a minute. and they both wore off.
I think that might be the first fight we've had potions wear off like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you normally don't have to worry about your potions wearing off.
Yeah. Insane. Absolutely ridiculous. But what a game. It's been great. Highly recommend Giant Slayer. Although if you're new to GMing 1E, be careful. There's a lot of dangerous shit.
Giant Slayer, you're facing giants. It's a playing killing thing.
It hits why I don't
if you
care
know what you're doing.
letting them be a little bit more buffed than I otherwise normally would because they're going to need it.
Princess has almost died twice, and one of those was by 1 hit point.
One.
She did not die.
Literally one.
Literally one. Because you were an orc ferocity, which means you're still up, even though you're in the negatives.
Yep.
You were
Jesus.
one round away. Anyway, what a game.
What a game.
It's a lot of fun to play, and we're playing on the table with a real map and pawns, and up until our newest level, I was still on paper.
Yeah, we were all pen and paper for the first level.
I was not.
You were for the first level, and then you quickly changed over.
Yeah, because I'm not.
But casters, it's better
Because I'm
to be
a fucking
online.
wizard.
Yeah.
Wizard.
Wizard.
Caster.
All right.
Yeah, man. Well,
Well, we do have listener questions, and I'll make sure our listeners don't have to listen to me go on and on about Pathfinder First Edition. Green.
Tell us the questions, Derek.
I want to interject real quick.
Nothing about Amir.
No, this is about dyeing my hair green.
Oh, okay.
So, recently I decided to cut all of my red off. And I bleached my hair again, and I decided that I was going to do green.
I'll cut your red off.
I'll cut your red off. And I got the green hair dye, and I slicked all of this beautiful blonde back. And it was bright, neon green, slicked back. And I looked in the mirror, and I looked at myself, and I realized in that moment that I was just a dog chasing cars. And I said, oh no, Derek, I'm the jonkler. And guess what the fuck he's been calling me?
Jonkler.
Jonkler.
Get fucking jonkled, idiot.
man, my first thought was Jacksepticeye.
Top of the morning to you, laddies.
I can't. That'd be too loud.
You can't. Anyway, we also have some listener questions that we've been putting off answering for months. Woo! So we should do that. One of them is actually on the old rules and questions and comments thing that we used to send out.
Oh, dang.
Or Pathfinder 2E rules, questions, and comments before we did bonus banter.
Ooh.
Someone named Ted from Northern California.
Hi,
I read that as North Carolina first. It's Northern California.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Hey, I just discovered y'all and love the show. Thanks for the fun times. I'm currently on episode 36 of season 3.
It's a good number.
And I wanted to add to your talk about character death. Another thing we should normalize is a character retiring or leaving the adventure. My former main character was a druid whose backstory was a winemaker who was looking for his unreliable sibling who was to arrange new buyers for the family. My character had a wife and kids, and in the course of the adventure, died but got resurrected. And I, as a player, could not reason why my character would continue as an adventurer. So I asked my DM if I would be allowed to just retire him and bring in a new character. Thanks again for the goofs and gaffs, and keep up the great work you are all doing.
Oh,
that's actually a fair point. And I know that we've had that conversation, some of our various adventures.
Yeah.
It just, a lot of it comes with it being in the middle of something with pretty big stakes.
Yeah.
So, like it or not, that character would still be involved. And if you're not playing them, I am.
I did it. I retired a character and gave him trauma, but then he came back.
Yeah, but you
retired him by fucking annihilating him.
With Jacob's help.
Technically speaking, in that way, he only retired him once. The other time he killed him.
Yeah. That was planned. The first death was planned. And then he came back and then he died
fucking
for
sucked.
real.
And it became a zombie. It was like, hey.
I think I'm going to run the guild now.
Yeah.
And then
we didn't let that happen.
And then you didn't let it happen.
Nope.
The thing of it is when you make, depending on how you make your character for an adventure path, sometimes it would be hard to think of the reason why they would leave. But then sometimes there would be a perfectly good reason. For instance, they're on episode 36.
But that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
So
they're might not jump ahead. Spoilers for.
Oh yeah, spoilers for past that. For like end of book 2.
What is this?
This is about Muglin.
Oh yeah.
Like Chester could have called it quits after book 2.
Yeah.
His goal was to finish
Yeah.
Muglin, technically speaking, but
Muglin.
he kept going because, you know, wanting to help people and all that jazz.
Because Chester's actually a good dude.
But like, if I was
Chester.
tired of playing Chester, I could have called it for him right there and had the perfect reason why. He would have been done.
The way,
I'm glad you didn't.
yeah,
me
I
too.
would give
I
too many
love Chester.
spoilers.
Yeah.
But like, if Muglin wasn't your goal, then you're in.
Yeah. If your goal was Loveless.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's book 2 spoilers, so we're good for that.
Yes.
Speaking of more recent spoilers, this isn't a listener question, but this is a comment I saw on YouTube. This is for spoilers for the most recent episode as a recording, which is 98.
I really thought you were about to pull like a comment off of like a different YouTube channel just to comment on that comment. This is from episode 200 of Giant Slayer, but it caught my attention, so I want to talk about it.
This is someone commented on our most recent episode at this point, season 3, episode 98. Linus 4D1 asked, if Eleanor
Hi,
died,
Linus.
would Parsis bring her back as an undead NPC or undead PC? And I answered this in the comments, but this is a fucking great question.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
answer holds up, and I checked with you guys later, but I was like, if Parsis had killed Eleanor, Parsis was not making it out of there alive.
I would say there may have been a 5% chance that he could have convinced us to let him bring her back. And I think when we talked about this on Discord, my ultimate answer was, if he lived long enough to talk to us, lived long enough to bring this option up, at that point it would have been up to Kat and whether she was okay with playing an undead Eleanor.
Yeah.
And
Whether we got that far would be the question.
It'd be pretty cool to come back as like a vampire or something.
have a repeat of Owen.
Yeah, exactly. This has all happened before. Time is a
It
flat
would
circle.
just depend, because Eleanor, if she was dead, she would have been with Hal. But at some point, she got the whole kill Loveless thing became her goal, not just her revenge. So being undead, if she could still, go after Loveless, I don't know, she would take it up.
Would have been very interesting for some upcoming episodes if you were undead.
I definitely would have had to have taken that in the moment. Like I couldn't tell you right now.
Yeah.
I would have just let it come off the cuff.
But more than likely, Parsis would have been dead because we don't really take kindly to
They don't take
people
kindly
who
to-
kill player characters.
Nar.
Call us bias, I guess.
Yeah, it is biased, but
Listen,
it's reasonable.
it's fine if they kill over 36 completely innocent blue-collar workers.
Jacob is still mad about Parsis.
But oh no,
It
they
has
killed
been
the
half a year.
adventurer. You can't forgive them.
It's been half a year. Jacob is still salty about Parsis.
Not even
All
that
right.
hot. His dad's hotter.
Hang on. Parsis is they, them.
Okay, we talked about this in the episode, but I want to make
Yeah.
sure, is Parsis they them, or was Parsis the pet? The word
Pangender.
pangender?
Yeah.
So is that they them, or is that?
They use they in the book,
Oh, okay, there
But
we
like,
go. All
it's
right.
The book is law.
So
but like I don't remember if I started you off wrong or if I just never
I think
said
that
a
we
gender.
got started off wrong. I think that there was like some sort of white-haired guy mentioned.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we just either heard the name or heard the description. White-haired guy.
And there was never a reason for me to be like, this person knows Parsis's gender and is going to correct you. And so I was just like never able to fix it until the very end.
Normalize getting your enemy's pronouns so you can
The
beat
only
them
thing that
down properly.
Ever could have come up is when you were talking to Jesse, I think, the like person, the cattle rustler.
from Toy Story.
And they like saw Parsis briefly. And then it would be like, all right, listen, I saw this person for at least a few seconds. And I can tell you, they, them.
Okay. I just recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this was before I dyed my hair blue or green, whenever it was blue.
Green.
And I said, "Do I look like a liberal to you?" And he said to me, "Blue hair and pronouns."
I
I
mean,
mean, it's accurate.
See, now if Parsis had dyed hair,
No! Stop it! I'm the only one that can make these jokes.
the white did a sin.
And the thing is, we were right in the height of Dante and Virgil. So we were just like, all right, this is just another Sparta boy.
When are we not in the height of Dante and Virgil?
Because you make it we.
Dante.
Best.
Dante.
All
right, so that was from Linus 41. The first one, by the way.
Thanks. Good question, Linus.
It was good.
Ted from Northern California. Thank you, Ted, for your question or comment about death and dying. I have strong feelings about it, and I'm glad that other people do as well.
I agree with him.
And Ted has made it further on because we got a bonus banter thing from him.
Oh,
Ted!
Hello,
Ted.
Ted.
From Ted from California says, I'm now listening to episode 69.
Nice.
Yeah, she says nice in it. I wanted to let you all know.
Same brain.
This is when we're talking about like Thanksgiving stuff, I think. I want to let you all know, as a butcher, we do sell our birds at a loss. Another trick is to go to the grocery store on Black Friday, and more often than not, we sell the turkeys at even lower prices. I've seen it go as low as 25 cents a pound. Love your show. I've been telling all my friends to listen, but no one ever listens to my suggestions, so I'm sorry.
I feel you, bud.
Hey, I feel you. I tell plenty of people that I have a podcast, but I have a policy of never saying what it is unless they ask. And some people have asked and still not listened.
It's nice being small, though.
I can't even get my own sister consistently to listen.
Listen to podcasts is hard if you don't have a certain
But
lifestyle.
Ted, I'm so glad you sent this in, because I keep telling people about this for if wanting to learn how to cook more at home and like save money, buying the whole turkeys whenever they're really cheap. It's so good. It is almost April when we're recording this, March 28th. I still have a turkey in my freezer, and I'm so stoked to eat it. It's going to be delicious.
It's going to be soup.
We
still
need to
have a
make
turkey,
ours.
too.
It's so good. Just thaw it, butcher it, and eat the parts, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just so lazy.
I'll butcher it for you.
When I get my off
Bring
season,
your turkey over.
Butcher my turkey?
I'll butcher your turkey.
No,
Oh
no,
my
no,
God.
Derek.
Gay.
When I have my off season, you come show me,
my
like, teach me
God.
how to do it.
I don't think you'll like it. It
I
involves
don't-
breaking a lot of bones and touching a lot of slimy meat.
I mean, I don't love it, but I like food.
Cat is much more willing to touch raw meat than I am. I'm finicky.
There's a joke to be made.
Oh,
He's a
I am
pansy
fully
for
aware.
that.
I was also going to throw bone in there as well, just to toss people
Raw meat
some
and bones.
stuff, raw meat and bones. But
Balls.
I don't like the feeling, and
Because he doesn't
Cat's
like his
fine.
hands to get dirty.
All right.
I like clean hands.
We have another question, though, on the bonus banter.
Is it Ted again?
No, this is from Vorn, Vornn, from the deepest, darkest Yorkshire, England.
Yorkshire.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to try to
I
do
say
my
that
best
lovingly.
Northern English accent reading
Don't
this.
fine.
stop. No,
Derek, don't.
Derek,
Please, I beg of
Derek.
you.
I have to.
Please.
No, that's Cockney.
I don't know
That's Cockney.
accents. I don't know. Do I look anything other than American?
You look like
I
you
was
could-
about to say, do I look anything other than right? But
I mean, synonymous, right?
Oh my God, no.
we love you. What's the question?
Could you talk about the rules you have
my
for character
goodness.
creation for your games?
Could you talk about the rules that you have for character for creation for your
Like
games?
certain races, classes, builds, items, rules,
Stop.
feats, and spells that are not
Stop.
allowed at your table.
Fucking Pamparam, Pamperam, sounding bitch.
It's been a while since I worked on my Northern English accent, so I'm sorry if it's insulting.
Do we really
Actually, I'm not that
have?
sorry, but I'm a little sorry.
Do we really have that many
Oh
specifications?
my God.
You don't normally tell us, yeah, you can't use that spell.
Normal. It's not something that usually comes up a lot, but Derek does have restrictions. We just don't bump into them often.
Yeah.
Most of us don't bump into them often.
We all look at
Wow.
Drow.
Stop looking
Oh,
at
and
Drow.
me too.
Yeah, you too.
I don't.
Drow's is the character race and the background stuff. Yours is the feats and the abilities.
Warforged.
And I don't normally
Yeah.
cause problems unless I have
Warforged.
animal
That's
companions.
D&D, though.
Warforged. Druid.
Yeah, Cat's a perfect player who never does anything wrong.
Except
Yeah.
for animal companions.
Except you have animal companions, but that's not really you. That's just the game I hate.
I'm just not creative enough to come up with something.
Jacob
I'm
wants
a
to
rule
play.
follower.
Jacob wants to play Warforged anytime he possibly can in 5e, even though that's an
Hey.
Eberron
Haven't
specific
Got
character
play one
race.
yet.
And I'm not interested in running Eberron. Is your character in Frost Maiden from Eberron or Greyhawk?
Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think he's Greyhawk. I can't remember. He got sent here on a Mind Flayer ship. That's all I remember. I looked through our Discord and I couldn't figure it out, which isn't a good sign.
Sebastian is such a good name, by the way.
I'll find Drive. My notes is in there.
Drow likes to play very uncommon and rare character races. Typically, my rule is, in 2E specifically, if it has uncommon or rare, you have to talk to me.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the cat folk, because that is technically rare, I think.
I think it's just uncommon. I'd have to double check. But I know specifically that they have like lore stuff around the Manaway, so I was like, you're good. Or at least close to it. But in 1E, you were a little worse. The Advanced Race Guide is the worst book I've ever given you access to. The amount of, can I play a Strix? Can I play a this? Can I play a that? And I'm like, we are in Sandpoint.
What if you loved me?
I let you use your intelligence as the boost you got for your current Drow character instead of mandating it be charisma. That's so much love. That's very rare for me. I let Jacob play a full orc. I was feeling very giving that day. Jacob's been trying to play a full orc for so long.
But like this was our casual fun game, so it's a perfect time to do it.
Hey, you're gonna need it. Giants will fuck you up.
Hell yeah.
Any update on your character?
It's Garrix is from 3rd edition.
So probably Greyhawk.
Probably Greyhawk.
Yeah. I'm glad we can remember this important background detail, what world your character is from. It's so funny playing that 5e game because anytime there's like, here's a depiction of the god of magic, you're like, who the fuck is this?
It's very fun to just be like openly, because now they know. Someone who is not from this was like, I don't know what that is. I never got the chance to get really too into it because it came up before like it stayed a secret for too long. And I was like, I was going to love saying, oh yeah, I'm from...
Do his accent.
He's got multiple at this point. Sebastian. He just sounds stuck up.
He sounds a little stuck up and a little bit German.
But Sebastian was good. Oh, hold on. My thought process got blammo.
Sebastian.
He's from a death cult, probably from the Forgotten Realms. He worships Garrix.
You mean Greyhawk. Forgotten Realms is where you are now.
That.
Yes.
And I was going to, is it Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate? Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Water's Gate, Baldur's Deep. Just little things like that I had actually written out. It's like little like dumb things to say that show that he's either dumb or doesn't know what he's talking about. I never really got to pull him out though. Aww. It was fun.
Yeah. I hit upon your background thing in chapter 2 because one of the things that's related to it is in chapter 2.
Yep.
You got to fly on a Mind Flayer ship that you helped fix.
I wanted to steal that ship so bad.
I'm surprised you didn't. You know how many threads I've read of people running this game where like, yeah, my players just took over the Mind Flayer ship.
Listen, I would have been fine with it.
But you just had them pick up your goblin wagon and go to the new tower.
I got people who feel like they'd make a fuss if I did that. I mean, but hey, that's fine.
They really did like and this is in Rime of the Frost Maiden. They have these like gnome ceremorphs, so like gnomes that have turned into Mind Flayers, and they're great. I gave them great voices. They sounded really squishy and wet, just like turkey meat. Dang it! I was really hoping to get Jacob to spit his gamer subs out.
I love turkey meat. I'd eat those gnomes.
Oh man!
So how did we get onto this topic anyway? Oh, rules for character creation.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. I hope that answers your question, Vorn. But yeah,
did we actually answer the question?
We talked about my restrictions.
Oh, okay, that's right.
When we did 2E, didn't you give us like a free archetype? And
yeah, well, that's just that's not a restriction. That's just a variant rule.
But it was a rule.
And we normally do the 25-point buy when it comes to 1E.
Yeah. Normally 25-point buy for 1E.
We have rules around doing health if we're not just giving max health.
We have some we talked about one of our potential new homebrew rules that we want to try at 1E. I have another homebrew rule in 1E, which is you get an immediate action and a swift action at your turn, because the immediate action is like your reaction. But technically, rules as written, it and the swift action both consume the same amount of time, quote, quote, on your turn. So if you use a swift action, you can't use your immediate. And if you take an immediate, you can't use a swift on your next turn. It's stupid. And I hate it.
That is dumb.
And I hate keeping up with it.
Yeah, keeping up with it's the rough part.
So I just say, you get both, and it's the easiest thing in the world. I feel like we have some other 1E home rules. Oh, we just completely ignore most of the animal tricks if we're an animal companion.
Yeah.
Because that is the worst.
The worst.
You have to spend an action and make a check to maybe get your stupid dog to bite someone.
What's the point of having a stupid dog if your dog won't bite people?
It's not even that strong,
Yeah.
just giving it to you for free.
It's really not.
It really is not that much strong.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that, I probably wouldn't have done an animal companion. I'd have I've revamped my character to not be animal companion.
Speaking of Giant Slayer, I was listening to Glass Cannon, which is what kind of spurred this back when I was moving, and listening to like Joe playing Lork struggle to get his stupid animal companions to do anything.
Yeah.
Is so funny, but also like the reason why we completely ignore it.
It's very fun to listen to, but to play through it would be miserable.
And considering how badly I roll, it would be
You roll
infuriating.
like such dog shit, and the listeners know now because I had to sit through editing 2 episodes of you not being able to shake off persistent damage,
Yeah.
even though you have a 1 in 4 chance.
I can't roll, and I'm sitting next to
He gave you a
luck
permanent-
person.
Some of those rolls were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, he gave you permanent DC 10, and you still couldn't
I still
make it.
couldn't.
You would have died several times.
Yes, I know. I can't roll to save my effing life.
And Giant Slayer, when we played that big fight, you hit exactly twice
Yes.
in 18 rounds.
Look,
You
if we had
spent-
been on the podcast for that, I would have been raging,
You spent a good like 8 rounds
doing nothing.
swinging, just swinging. And then I think you end up spending the last bit just healing. It's like, I can't do
quit
anything.
rolling, so
you
I started
pulled your
healing.
wand out and just started healing
I
Princess.
really did.
Yep. So funny.
I think in the same session, I did manage to get like a single crit, but
Yeah.
I can't roll.
You hit once and then crit, and then spent like 10 rounds just whiffing.
That would have been a much faster fight if I had been able to participate.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been nearly deadly as it was.
But
Man.
hey, I was a good healer.
Your luck is unbelievable. The amount of times in 98 when we were listening to you try to make this save, and I'm just like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
It's like DC 10, 5 rolls in a row.
Statistically, it has to happen.
Statistically,
2, 3, 5.
I am living proof that randomness and chaos exist.
Yeah. You can talk to me about statistics all
Entropy.
day, but I've played tabletop games, and like you can tell me what the chances are, what the odds are, and I'll say bullshit.
Yeah.
If I get to talking about probability with people, they don't like me because it's like, look, you can literally roll the same thing over and over.
Just another thing we can talk about briefly. A friend of the show, first time mentioning Micah's a GM now.
Ooh, yeah.
He's running games, and,
And he's
finally
like in it hardcore.
Yeah, he was, and I kept trying to tell him don't fall into the trap of world building and homebrewing, because it turns out being a GM is not the same as doing world building and homebrewing and adventure. There's world building, which is one hobby, adventure writing, which is another thing, and then there's being a GM, which is just getting your session together.
Yeah.
There's very different things.
Yeah.
He's finally come around, and he was showing me his session notes, and he had like perception checks for things. I'm like, hey, rule of thumb, just talked about statistics. If it's important to the progression,
Don't make them roll.
Don't make them roll, or make it a roll they can fail and still move forward.
Yeah.
Because legit, it's no fun when you need something for story progression and you just can't roll.
It just going
Coming
around the
from
room, rolling
me.
a die.
Just knowing,
Every DM has been there.
Yeah, make a perception check when you
Every
should
day.
just tell them.
Every day I wake up and I'm me.
Yeah, and he also had this thing where like they're going to cross the river into this cave, and he's just like, DC 10 athletics to swim or whatever.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, all right, here's the thing.
You'd think.
If you need to progress, just forget about it.
Or make them, if they can't make the roll, they can suffer to get there.
Make it a game, right? And if it's this, don't make it a game that hurts too much. Like make it a DC 10 or whatever. If you have heavy armor on or medium, disadvantage. And then if you fail by 5 or more, you make progress. You need like 3 checks to cross, let's say. You make progress, but you like go a certain amount of feet downstream. If you fail by like 10 or something, you go downstream and don't make progress. So now it's a game of who doesn't go down the furthest.
Yep.
And like,
And you still get everybody gets across.
imagine the fun of role playing the character like my character who would be like 80 feet back trying to shout to everybody. Mm-hmm. That would be fun.
It'd be funny.
And
then the fun,
if they don't tie themselves to a rope, it's their own fault if they go too far and fall off a waterfall.
the funniest thing is there's going to be I told him there's going to be someone who thinks they're very smart because there's going to be a encounter in the cave or whatever, and they're going to take off their armor to swim. And then it's hilarious when they go in the cave.
Could even offer to give them advantage if they're not wearing armor.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. See, that's the thing where it's like if it's important it will block progression, you have to be careful about the number you put in front of it, because God knows the moment an easy check is blocking progression of the game,
Everybody fails.
and it's just grinds it to a halt.
And not just your cat people. Everybody fails.
Everybody fails. 1, 2, 10, around the room.
Every time.
Yeah.
I've not been looking forward to listening to this episode because of all my fails.
It's really good, actually.
Because when I listen to it, I'm sure I will relive the frustration I was trying so hard not to ruin the podcast with.
No.
The frustration you were having is completely beaten for me in terms of enjoyment by Jacob being so irrationally upset at Parsis. It's Sakir, can I kill him?
Yeah, please. It's last chance. Please, can I just shoot him?
Please.
And then
Listen to him.
I got you when I had Parsis be like, hey, if you help me do this thing, then you get to kill plenty of vampires. You're like, dang it.
I know a good offer when I hear one.
Oh, man.
You sure this person ain't Faye? Making deals like that.
When Derek was editing that, I remember talking to him, just be like, if we ever do continue with any of these characters that may have survived the end,
Nice way to put that.
I'd love to keep hating Parsis.
Just continuously.
Just always. Maybe
Hate,
one day even
always.
kill him. Oh,
Always hate.
I can dream.
You sounded so happy with imagining killing him.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, you guys, audience, are in for such a treat with the end of book 3, the end of Outlaws of Alkenstar. I will say, I think the power plant as a GM was one of my favorite things to run.
That was a very neat dungeon.
But there's some really cool stuff coming up and a lot of cool moments that happened. And you are going to love it because, boy, as our first adventure path we finished, I'll say this much. It's not a spoiler.
Did you just like God of War?
Boy. I have been playing it lately. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he actually was playing it a little while.
Boy, I will say this much, not a spoiler. The final fight, I actually re-listened to it when I was working on part of it to spruce it up and add it to the editing queue. The final battle of the adventure path
It's nice.
is really good.
Fantastic.
It's really good.
I remember. Oh,
It's got everything, man. It's got everything like the Parsis fight did. The highs and the lows.
I guarantee the person who wrote that final encounter didn't imagine it going that way in any way.
Nope.
I didn't think it would go that way either. It was fantastic. I don't want to talk about it too much because they haven't heard it and they were not going to hear it for a while. Anyway, stay tuned, audience. I think that's going to be it for this Bogness Banter.
Magnus Banter.
Banter swirl.
Best.
We'll catch you next time we catch you.
Bye.
Bye.
Woof.
Woof.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bonus Banter. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing us. If you would like to submit a question or comment for Bonus Banter, please use the Google form linked in the episode description. If you want to see more from us, check out our website, thirdgallon.com, or follow us on Twitter. We're at thirdgallon, that's THIRD gallon. We are also on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook with the same handle, at thirdgallon. We also publish a video version of this podcast on YouTube, which you can find on our channel, The Third Gallon Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, check out our Ko-fi page. You can find us at ko-fi.com/thirdgallon. That's ko-fi.com/thirdgallon. The theme music for Bonus Banter was composed by Alexander Nakarada. You can find more of his work at serpentsoundstudios.com and support him at patreon.com/a-nakarada. That's patreon.com/ANAKARADA.
Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.